Hello everybody, today we are here with Alex Manos at the Beverly Hills Car Club in beautiful Beverly Hills, California. And today we're going to learn about his cars and his amazing business he's got here. We've got Porsches, we've got Ferraris, and we're going to learn about his watch collection as well. And we're excited to be here. Alex, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
We're going to talk cars today, maybe a little bit of watches later on, but right now, cars. This is Alex Manos, and we're so happy to be here. As I sit here, Alex, I'm looking around at hundreds of cars. There's hundreds of Porsches, Ferraris, Lincoln Continentals, and every other kind of car you can imagine. There's a bunch of Jaguars here, maybe 50 or 60 Jaguars. Tell us a little bit. This is an amazing business right here. It's like candy land for me to be here. I could stay here all week.
So I often tell people, I say, if you're going to visit us, make sure you bring a blanket.
Yeah, exactly.
No, really, because if you come here, you know, you're like, hey, I'm going to be here for 30 minutes, or I'm going to stop in for a minute, and it's room after room after room of classic cars.
Yeah.
And the unique thing that we have going on here is that not every car is perfect. There could be a car that you and your dad could, you know, restore together and work on. There's projects, there's fully restored cars, you know, there's cars that need engine work, there's everything, and there's such a large array.
I know, just walking around here, I was glued to some of these cars. Amazing.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite car? We talked a little bit earlier about a car that's always been my favorite, but I'd love to hear from a car guy.
So my favorite car is always going to be the next car. Because, and the reason I say that is because, you know, you set your mind to, I want to get a Ferrari 275 GTB, or I want to buy a Ferrari Lusso, which are two of my favorite cars, which, you know, sometimes when you get your hands on it, it was like the struggle, the fight to get the car, and then you kind of like, okay.
Yeah, the adrenaline's gone.
Right.
Yeah, the thrill is gone, you're right. So, your personal car collection though, do you have one? Where you have cars that are technically not for sale?
Definitely.
You have?
I have 14 cars that are not for sale.
Is there a 300 SL in that collection?
There is.
What color is it?
It's blue.
Amazing. That's always been my personal favorite. I like the Porsche 356 as well, but that 300 SL is an amazing car.
Oh, it's incredible.
So tell me a little bit about it.
I got a phone call from a guy. He called the dealership and he said, hey, I want to speak to Alex. I spoke to him. He said, I'm about 15 minutes away from you, and my uncle has owned a Gullwing since 1960. Would you be interested?
Wow.
I said, of course.
Yeah.
I'm on my way.
So when was this? How long ago?
This was about 6 years ago now.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm on my way. He's like, no, I'm not ready to sell it yet. I just wanted to know if you're interested. And we kept talking and made a friendship.
So is the adrenaline pumping right now for you?
I mean, through the roof.
Yeah, okay.
You know, that's been, since I've been a kid, that's been one of my favorite cars, and still is one of my favorite cars.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, whose isn't it their favorite car?
Right, yep.
And for a car person, it's that much more, you know, extended and energized than for a normal person that might like that car.
Had you already owned one before, a 300 SL?
No, that was the first one.
So it's the first one, okay.
Yes. So it's even more.
All right.
Even more energy behind it.
So did he say he was coming in, or was he thinking about it? Or
He said,
wasn't ready to sell it.
you know, he said, you know, I want to get to know you and talk to you, and we made a friendship.
Yeah.
And then I went over there, checked out the car, and then it was more of like, we became friends. It wasn't just like, you know, here, take the car. It was like we made a friendship and we talked about the car, and it was like a whole, you know, a novel of stories being told back and forth.
Yeah.
Which was awesome, you know, because, and that's what made the car, I guess, closer or more dear to my heart, because there's so much more to it.
Yeah. So he has owned the car since 1960, or
Correct.
had owned it.
Right.
You ended up buying it right away, or did it take months?
No. So it was, for me.
Yeah, when you bought
it took about a month.
About a month.
Yeah.
He had to decide. A lot of times, same thing in the watch world too. We'll get a call. I'll get a call, and someone on the phone says they've got a rare old Rolex Submariner, and they could say, I've got a 6200. And I don't know if you know what a 6200, but it's one of the earlier Rolex Submariner models, and very, very rare and sought after. And 9 times out of 10, Alex, they think they have a 6200, but it's not. Maybe it's some other model, and they get it wrong. But you never know. You've got to take that call, because it could be. And so one of these days, years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, we got a call, just like you got a call on that 300 SL, Sure enough, the guy had one, wasn't ready to sell it, was thinking about it. We built a little bit of a friendship. He had 3 kids he was getting ready to put through college. So he wasn't wearing the watch. He was afraid to wear the watch because he knew it was valuable. It took about 3, 4, 5 months for him to call me back and drive up from San Diego and sell the watch to me. And I've had it in my collection ever since, but I could never let that go. Like, I really fall in love with these watches. And they're increasingly becoming more difficult to find, quality pieces, because people are buying them and keeping them in their collection as they continue to build collections. Can I ask you what that car's worth today about?
Maybe about 1.5.
1.5. Okay, we were talking earlier about the car, and I remember years ago, and it wasn't that long ago, when you could buy those cars for 300 or 400 grand. So they've appreciated considerably.
I mean, 12 years ago they were 500,000-600,000.
Yeah.
But the market goes up and down.
Yeah.
I mean, it changes frequently.
Yeah. But long term, I always say that quality assets long term always go up, and that's a quality asset to me.
I agree.
They're not making any more 1955 300 SLs. Whatever's out there is out there, correct?
Correct.
Where do you get more thrill? Buying the car or placing the car in the individual that's been on the hunt for that amazing 190 SL maybe? He's always wanted one. His dad had one maybe growing up. Yeah. He's been on the hunt looking for one. He comes walking in the door. He sees that you've got like 8 of them or 10 of them. There's a lot of them here. And you get him in that car, and he's the excitement on his face. There must be tremendous gratification
100%.
in this business.
So a friend of mine, he bought a 190 SL for me. He's been asking me for 4 years, I really want a 190 SL. I really want a 190 SL. But you want to make sure they get the right car, and sometimes when it's your friend, I get a little bit like, I'd rather you come in and find the car and say, hey, I want to buy this car, than me referring. I just want to keep things in the friendship, positive.
Right.
So he wanted a blue with the red interior 190 SL. The car had 2 tops, Rolex carburetors. I mean, it's everything he wanted and more. So the gratitude and joy I got, first of all, being able to get the car, and then we got to offer it to him, who's my friend, and on top of it all, he came here with his uncle from Greece. He lives here, but his uncle's from Greece. He's walking around the dealership. He calls me, and he knows there's a million cameras here, and he goes, you see me in the showroom? And I was like, no worry. He's like, I'm in the main showroom. I said, where? I look on the camera, and I go, oh my God, this is a godsend. He goes, what do you mean? He's looking at me like this, okay? Like trying to look on the wall, where am I?
Yeah, I can see the cameras, yep.
I go, look to your right. He goes, what do you mean? Are you here? I go, no, look right next to you. He's like, oh my God, it's a blue 190 SL. I go, you didn't come here for that, did you? He's like, no. He's like, I'm here with my uncle. That's the car he bought.
Wow,
they took
that's
it
the
outside.
one he wanted.
That's the one he wanted. He was just, because I stopped calling him because I just felt like.
You don't want to pressure him.
I don't want to pressure him, and I want him to find the car himself and be like, that's the one.
Yeah.
It was so crazy that he's standing there looking to see me on the cameras to wave as a joke, and I go, there's your car on the right of you. I can't believe it's a sign. You got to buy this car. He took it outside, cranked it up, went for a drive. He's like, how do I pay you?
So Alex, tell us what Rolex is on your wrist. I couldn't help notice you've got a rose gold Rolex Daytona. Can I ask you about it?
Yeah, definitely.
Love to hear about it.
So this watch here has been my dream watch for over 20 years.
Excellent.
Okay.
Love it.
You can take a look.
Amazing.
My goal, my life was to get a rose gold Daytona. But that was like, the sky was the limit.
Yeah.
That was like, I can't believe it. So I always set my stakes on getting a stainless steel white face Daytona.
Yep.
I don't know how much they go for now, but when I was looking, they were like 10.5, 92.50.
Well, they've almost doubled in value in the last 2 years, but go ahead, 3 years.
So that was my goal. I was like, I'm gonna get a stainless steel Daytona.
Yeah.
And then I waited so long, because buying the right watch, it's an investment anyways.
Yeah.
And now
investment.
It's a fantastic investment. Once you buy a Rolex and you have it and you realize, hey, I just spent this much money, you know what? I can either make a profit or lose a small piece. It's like you're not even.
It's a storage of value.
100%. You're storing your value in the watch, just like these cars.
And you get to enjoy it and wear. So do you wear it every day?
Every single day.
This is your watch. This is your daily wear.
Every single day.
Well, you keep it in good shape too. It's in great shape.
Thank you.
Good for you. Rose gold, and why rose gold? Did you?
You know what? I liked yellow gold, and that was the watch I wanted, was yellow gold. But then as times changed, you know, people started moving more towards rose, and I felt like yellow, in my opinion, was like the mid-2000s was really, really hot.
Yep.
And then as we got closer to 2010, this watch is 6 years old.
Yeah.
So as we got closer to 2010, I feel like people moved more towards rose gold.
Yeah. So what's interesting, in my opinion, about the rose gold is it's fantastic looking, and Rolex makes their own rose gold. They don't buy it anymore. 10 or 15 years ago, they started making their own metal because they wanted it to be precise, exactly the same color with the right metals in it. So what's interesting to me about the rose gold is it's great, and it looks great right here in your hand, but on your wrist, I think, is where it really excels.
It's a
great watch. Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So not only are you an amazing car guy, but you got a great watch to go with it. Why Rolex and why Daytona? Let me know if there's any kind of connection to the car.
Yeah, well, I felt like anytime I would see someone wearing a Daytona, it was so classy.
Yeah.
And then you got the Daytona, you know, it's
the Speedway.
There you go. I mean, it was kind of like, for a car guy, the
perfect
Daytona,
connection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Paul Newman.
Yeah.
You know, the whole thing.
Right. So right now, it's your everyday watch. It's the only watch in your collection. You wear it every day. You love it. Do you have aspirations to buy more? What's the next model?
Yeah, let me ask you. So,
because you said something about a steel watch.
Yeah, I wanted to know what you think. I was wondering, and I wanted to get another watch, and I was thinking either a rose gold Sky Dweller.
Okay, that's great watch.
Okay, or I wanted to maybe change it up and do a Patek Philippe.
Patek's a great watch. To me, it's a little bit dressier, although they make the Patek Nautilus, which I have as well. It's a great sporty looking watch. It's a little bit more sleek, I think, in my opinion, than a Rolex. But a lot of guys have got the Daytona in gold, and they've got it in steel. So that would be a great idea as well. You've already got it in gold. Get one in steel. Yeah. Rolex makes the new Daytona 116-500 that they launched 3 years ago, and it's kind of a takeoff from the vintage model that they did years ago, decades ago. Go on our site, look around. I always say fall in love. Like, look around. Don't buy something that I like. Don't buy something that he likes. Buy something that you looked at and you fell in love. Not because I like it, because you like it. Go on the site. Rolex makes amazing watches, and so does Patek. But look at the Patek Nautilus. Again, I wear the older version of it. It's the 3700, and I love it. It's a great watch.
What do they retail for?
They retail for about $30,000, a little bit less. So they're not inexpensive. That Patek Nautilus. It's all steel, but you can't get one. There's a waiting list to get one. So if you walk into a Patek store, you may need to put your name on a waiting list and wait 2 or 3 years. Now, that's today. It could change in a year or two with the recession or the economy. But the same thing is true with the Rolex Daytona. If you walked in the typical Rolex store here, they're not going to have it. They won't have it. There's a long waiting list, at least 2 to 3 years to get a 116.
The good thing for me is I got you here now.
You do, yeah. I'll find you one. I'll get you in one. Well, Alex, thank you very much. We really enjoyed this. It's been a lot of fun learning about your business, about these amazing cars, and about your rose gold Daytona too. So thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
Hopefully we're friends for life. And anytime you need a watch, come and see me. When I need a car, when I'm ready, you're the guy.
Perfect.
Thank you.